Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unapologetically Keto. My name is Ralph Peterson, and I am so happy to be here. I'm happy to be here because I am happy to be sharing what's been going on with me. But at the same time, I got to tell you that I started my day. My wife and I, we get up in the morning at 5:30. I brush my teeth. She gets a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. It's something about adenosine. I don't know. I fall down the rabbit holes, and so I always try to delay. And then we turn on the TV, and we have one of those, the abilities like a smart TV, so we can see 4 channels at once. And so we're always going from this local to that local to a Fox News. I'm a Fox News guy, as all your dads are, of course. And at 6 o'clock hour, Brian Kilmeade of Fox News, they started doing their rundown about what they're going to be talking about today. And one of the things, I don't have my headset in, one of the things that they're going to talk about is Jelly Roll. The singer, country singer, Jelly Roll, lost like 300 pounds. And that is so super impressive. I did just take my ketones and my glucose, which is amazing today. But for some reason, I can't get it to show up on here again. So I actually brought up my dashboard. So actually, let me just show this to you real quick. So I want to make sure that we're starting every day or every show with you knowing where I'm at. So today, my glucose was at 73. That is, hallelujah. That is amazing for me. Amazing. And my ketones was at 3.2. I just did my blood test at 3:46. You can see right here, 3:46 p.m. So right before I came on live, I am about 71 hours into a fast. So as you know, I fast for 72 hours every week, or this is my 13th week in a row of fasting, Sunday to Wednesday. When I get done this live, I'm going to have dinner. But those are my numbers. My DBR, my Dr. Boz ratio is 22. My lowest Dr. Boz ratio, because I was just doing a report for Dr. Boz I'm going to share with you today. My lowest DBR was 14, which is, listen, when I started keto, my DBR, my Dr. Boz ratio was over 100. It was wild. Okay. Let me get back to it. So Brian Kilmeade, Fox News, they're going to do a segment on Jelly Roll, which is great. And he said something that, just reminded me, invigorated me. Invigorated? I don't know. One of the challenges about doing a weight loss show or a healthy lifestyle show or a metabolism show, a keto show, which is what I'm doing. One of the challenges is that you have to come face to face with the demon. And the demon is, of course, yourself, I'm my own worst enemy. I have self-doubt, I wonder if you're going to judge me. I wonder how you're going to look at me if I show you pictures that I used to weigh 350 pounds, because there's a lot of people in my life who have never, if I didn't tell them, hey, I used to weigh 350 pounds, they would never know. Like they would just look at me and like, hey, that guy has always had it together. Not even close. But right, and so coming clean with the idea that I haven't always been, hold on, I have to turn this thing off. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to do that. That's so much better. I do a weekly live on LinkedIn every week, and I was listening back to it today. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? It's the stupid humidifier. I'm in my basement. You need a humidifier, but you've got to remember to shut that thing off because it's so loud. I apologize. What I was trying to say is that when you want to do a show about keto, about life change, about weight loss, then you have to be willing to come clean, warts and all. And one of the reasons why I have been struggling with the idea of coming clean, warts and all, is because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. And I'm embarrassed the most. And I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to be saying it. I'm embarrassed the most that I have been taking a GLP-1. And I have been using it to help me in my weight loss journey. And it has been a miracle drug. It has been so mind-blowing to me. It's been, I mean, I can't even explain how amazing it is. Now, prior to me taking the GLP-1, a couple decades ago, well, maybe not a couple decades ago, maybe it was only like, I guess it was in 2011. So my doctor offered me the opportunity to get a gastric bypass. I would have done it, by the way. I would have done anything to lose the weight. I mean, at 350 pounds, I mean, I just assumed my shoes were on because I couldn't see them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Are they tied? People go, your shoes untied. I'm like, they're going to stay on. I used to tie my shoes on the side because I couldn't bend straight over. I could only bend on the side. I can just try my best to tie. True story, yo. Anyway, I would have easily done the gastric bypass had I qualified. I didn't qualify because at the time, because when gastric bypass first started, I mean, you could get it if you were just heavy enough. If you had if you were obese, you could get the gastric bypass. But then they learned quite quickly that people would eat their way through the gastric bypass, and they would literally, they would lose all this weight, but then they would have stomach tears because they would still be eating. And, and so you had, in order to get a gastric bypass, by the time it was offered to me, again, in 2011, 2012, you had to do two things. One, you had to lose weight. So you had to be able to lose weight on your own, which is what I failed to be able to do, by the way. I couldn't get over that hurdle. And then the second thing is you had to actually take a behavior class, like a psychology class. And I never made it to the second level because I couldn't do the weight loss thing. So I never did it. But I would have. And I know if I did do the gastric bypass, that I would have felt shame by doing it. I know I would have. I know. I would have felt guilty. I would have felt... I know how people would have looked at me because that's how I would have looked at me. And that is, as you are weak, you are lazy, you have no self-control, no discipline. Why don't you just stop eating so much? Why don't you just put the pizza down? I mean, honestly. Somebody need to do it for you. I mean, are you that person? Are you the type of person that somebody literally needs to spoon feed you so you don't overeat and die? I mean, how dumb are you? How weak and lazy are you? That's how I talk to myself. That's how I talked to myself up until 3 months ago. I mean, I'm being serious. I've been talking to myself like that for 30 years. This is my 30th year. I said it before. I'll say it again. This is my 30th year. It's like I'm having a little anniversary. It's my 30th year of either being overweight or dieting. I'm either overweight or I'm trying to lose weight for 30 years. And for 30 years, I had the same judgment about me that everybody else had about me. And that is, if only you had self-discipline, if only you had some control, you must have an addictive personality. Do you know how many times I have owned that I must have an addictive personality? I mean, I'm surprised it's not my leading, "Hi, I'm Ralph, I have an addictive personality." Like, it's, and you know how many people believe I have an addictive personality? I mean, a lot of people think I have an addictive personality. And that's my problem, by the way. My problem is that I easily become addicted to things and I can't put it down because I have an addictive personality. See, up until 3 months ago, I have always believed what maybe you believe right now. And that is that you being overweight, me being overweight, is my fault. It's my fault entirely. Nobody's putting the candy bars in front of me. Nobody's ordering the Chinese but me. Nobody's, making me eat the pizza. I'm doing it on my own. And therefore, it is all my fault. I have people, and have had, my whole life, talk to me about their experience with food and how they can't believe that my experience with food is so different than theirs. My wife, God bless her, will buy a pint of ice cream and have a few spoonfuls, like have some. She bought it because she wanted it, and then put it in the freezer, and then have this happy little accident happen months later, where she randomly looks in the freezer, is like, "Oh my God, I forgot I had this ice cream." I'm like, who are you? Who are you? Because I got to tell you, it wasn't even my ice cream. I didn't buy it. And every single day, it was like a dog whistle. I just knew it was there. There's ice cream in the freezer. Oh, there's ice cream in the freezer. I wonder if she's ever going to eat that ice cream in the freezer. If I eat that ice cream in the freezer, is she going to know? What if I just take a spoon? Like, it just inundates me. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. And again, the whole time, the underlying belief that I've been telling myself this whole time is it's my fault. That I'm weak. That I'm undisciplined, that I'm lazy, that I have an addictive personality. And then I start watching this doctor on YouTube, and I recognize how silly that sounds. Your doctor's on YouTube. I know, I get it, but there's a lot of doctors on YouTube. There's a lot of amazingly smart, forward-thinking people on YouTube. So I found this doctor on YouTube. First of all, I should tell you that I started watching keto and carnivore diets again because my best friend Devin was telling me about this keto diet, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's so great, and you can eat whatever you want." And I love the idea of, and this is the trick of carnivore, by the way, just from my experience, because I gained 40 pounds on carnivore. The sly trick on carnivore is you can eat as much meat as you want. Don't track anything and you'll lose weight. You'll be healthy. There's a little bit more to it than that. It's so much, there's so much more to it, I would say, that I'm not ready for carnivore. Me, personally, I'm not ready for it. I want to be ready for it. I like it. I'm mostly carnivore, but there's no chance I could be 100% strict carnivore. Anyway, and by the way, I don't think most of us have that ability. And that's the warning, because if you're not careful, you might end up like me and you just end up gaining weight. Anyway. So I'm interested in keto. I'm interested in carnivore. I'm watching all of these, Dr. Barry and the steak and butter girl. And, then I finally meet this or run across a couple of videos about this lady, this doctor, Dr. Boz, Annette Bosworth. I talk about her all the time because she's literally changed my life. She starts talking about GLP-1s. And at first, she's a bit hesitant to recommend them because she's hearing what everybody else is hearing, that there are these side effects about reducing muscle and bone loss and, these kind of negative connotations that are going with this new medication. And so she too is kind of like, I don't want to say use it if they're, she's like, I'm a doctor. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction, of course. So she's not willing to at first. And then she starts, the more the time goes on, every week she goes live. She goes live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, by the way. I mean, if you're not watching that show every week, if you're interested in really reversing any kind of metabolic conditions you have, from diabetes to heart disease to cancer, if you're on make sure you're adding Dr. Boz to your weekly routine. At this point, she's on my daily routine. I watch her all the time because she does not just the weekly live, but she also does a bunch of shorts and these long form videos, and she's just really, really impressive. So she starts talking about new research coming out, new evidence showing how positive the GLP-1 is. And then she breaks it down to explain what the GLP-1 is and what it replaces in the body. That's an interesting term. What it replaces in the body, which means there's something missing in some of us. And it turns out what is missing in some of us is a hormone. In fact, there's a couple of hormones that either are missing in my body or are damaged, got beat up too much for too long by too many Jack Daniels, or something like that, where the hormones are not doing what they are supposed to do, which is to regulate my desire for food. Wait a minute. It's not me? Huh? Again, am I lazy? Have no discipline? Weaker than everyone else? Because I need reading glasses? Probably not. Right? What it is my eyesight is going a little bit askew. There may be some fault of mine, but not all my fault, right? And I can't just will it. I can't will my eyesight to get better. Neither can I will my hormones to get better. But I can take this hormone replacement. And this hormone replacement puts me in the same place as other people who don't have the hormone deficiency. Those other people who I see open a bag of potato chips, eat them until they're done, they're full, and then roll up the bag of potato chips and save them for later. I've never saved a bag of potato chips for later. Never. I've never bought a little pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream and ate just a couple of spoonfuls so I can have more later. Never. And I honestly always believed that the reason is because I don't have any discipline, because I have an addictive personality, because I am weaker than everybody else. Keep in mind, there is this weird dichotomy, and I'm literally sharing with you what I'm discovering about myself in real time. I haven't been given this much thought. I'm in real time just talking to a camera, hoping that somebody out there will hear what my story and what I'm going through and how I'm seeing things. And maybe they will start considering how they see themselves. And maybe I can get one person to accept that some of us are born with or develop deficiencies in our bodies. And we sometimes need an aid. At one point in my life, I know I'm going to need a cane. And then I'll need a walker. And then, God forbid, there'll be a time I have to get into a wheelchair. And it won't be because I'm undisciplined. It'll be because my body will start to break down. Just like reading glasses or hearing aids. What the GLP-1 has done for me, it has given me insight to what it must be like for other people who have never had a weight problem, who have never overindulged so much that not only does their stomach feel like it's on the verge of bursting, but you hate yourself for it because you can't wait until even a small little section of your stomach opens up, like you digest just a little bit, so you can take another bite of food. I would order Chinese food and it would come in these little to-go containers, these little metal tins, little plastic top. General Chow's with pork fried rice and egg rolls and spring rolls and wontons and, spare ribs and coconut chicken and, chicken finger. Oh my gosh. I'd order all that stuff. And I'd sit in a lazy boy, my feet up, laying back, and I would put the tray right on my stomach. I was that big. I was big enough to where I didn't even need a tray. My stomach was like, boom. And I would be like, and I'd get so full, I'd be like, oh. And I'd just wait. I wouldn't move a thing. I'd just wait. And then my stomach would digest a little bit. 20, 30, 40 minutes later, you'd be like, oh, good. And I'd grab another spring roll or a chicken finger or more General Chow's. I would just keep eating. When I was in the Marine Corps, I had this, I worked in a Navy shop, Navy aid station. And I had this chief officer, he was a Navy chief. That was his rank. He was a chief. He was my height. He might have even been taller than me. He might have been I'm 6 foot. He might have been 6'1", 6'2", actually. And he probably weighed 160 pounds, soaking wet, thin as a rail. And I'm struggling with weight, I'm, like I said, it's my 30th year, happy anniversary. It's my 30th year of either being overweight or struggling with it, And what I mean by being overweight or struggling, there are a lot of times in my life I just accepted it all right, I'm fat. What do you want me to do? I used to say, I come in the man size. So freaking ridiculous. But he comes out with this big, 8-quart bowl of pasta. And he eats the whole bowl in front of me, by the way. And the whole time he's eating this whole big bowl of pasta, he's telling me, you just got to eat like me. Have some pasta, you know what I mean? You just got to exercise and eat like. I remember thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Matter of fact, I even got sent. So the Marine Corps, they do not like fat people. Let me tell you, the Marine Corps is no different than society. We look down on fat people, and we do fat shaming. It's really what I wanted to talk about. I'm taking a long time to get to my point about fat shaming, but that's really what I want to talk about. They sent me to this little fat camp. Not a fat camp, but, even in boot camp, I wasn't allowed to have dessert. Like they have like I can't remember what it is, but it's basically if you're too fat when you get into boot camp, they put you on a restricted diet. So you're not allowed to have, because every meal, lunch and dinner will come with like a cookie or something. And God forbid I was allowed to have a cookie because I was a disgusting fat body, I don't remember what they call it, but they may as well have said disgusting fat body. It's certainly how they made you feel. And I was, Anyway, and I remember going to this class, nutrition class, and the girl teaching the class was bragging that she still fit in her high school jeans. And I didn't say, but I just thought to myself right then, she has no idea what the hell she's talking about. She has no, how could you, who've never been overweight in your life, be talking to me, someone who's struggling with weight, what it's like and what I should do? You have no idea. She suggested that you should eat a half of an English muffin for breakfast. I know, that's a quarter of a muffin. Well, me and my girlfriend just split a half of an English muffin. Most ridiculous thing. Let me get back to it. We have gone as a society from fat shaming. First of all, anybody we look at that's overweight, we judge them. And we judge them and we think about them as disgusting and lazy and undisciplined. Why don't you take care of yourself? I mean, for the love of God, why don't you take care of yourself? By the way, this is what I'm on too many tangents. I apologize, but let me go back and make this one point. Because I'm speaking out of both sides of my face here. And again, I was trying to say, you have me in the real moment here. I'm just coming to grips with everything. So, I mean, I haven't pre-thought of this. I don't have a thing written down about what I'm going to say. I do have my results from the metabolic metabolism class I just ended, and I do want to talk about that a little bit, just to share some of my successes, because I lost 36 pounds in 12 weeks. 36 pounds in 12 weeks. 36 pounds. Stop it. Stop. I would do anything to lose 36 pounds in 12 weeks, to be clear. I would do anything. So that it worked, that I lost 36 pounds in 12 weeks following a doctor's orders, following a diet that actually makes sense to me. Somebody who's not going, hey, you're too stupid to understand, just take these pills. That's not what she does. She goes, forget taking pills. You just need to eat the right foods. I'm like, oh, Jesus, where have you been my whole life? Okay. So anyway, I'm just being real with you. Let's talk about the last 30 years that I have either been overweight or dieting. And let's also acknowledge that over those last 30 years, I have believed that the reason that I'm overweight is because I am stupid, lazy, undisciplined. I have an addictive personality. All the things that you can say to yourself to put yourself down, to explain away why you can't lose the weight this entire time. Now, again, I'm using turn of phrases like I feel like I'm undisciplined. I feel like I'm lazy. I feel like I'm worthless. Okay, now let's also look at these 30 years in a different context. Again, I was just thinking about this before I went live here today. I got my first bachelor's degree. I said first. I got my first bachelor's degree when I was 30 years old. I got my let me back up. I got my associate's degree when I was 26. So that's even within the 30 years. 26 or 27 maybe, I get an associate's degree. At 30, I get a bachelor's degree. Now, this bachelor's degree, much like the associate's degree, I'm working full time. while I'm doing this, while I'm pursuing school. So I'm taking night classes. I'm studying on weekends, trying to get my homework done. I get an associate's degree. I get a bachelor's degree. Then I get a second bachelor's degree because I got a bachelor's degree in U.S. history because I dreamed, oh my God, wouldn't it be so fantastic to be a U.S. history teacher? And Vermont, I was in North Carolina, I'm in the Marine Corps, and Vermont had this, which is where I'm from, they had this coming home from abroad program. They were advertising it everywhere, saying if you were from Vermont and you left and you would like to come back and be a teacher, they're hiring and they're giving like all these bonuses. And it turns out, and I'm not dwelling on this, I'm just going to tell you what happened. Because I go and I get a bachelor's degree in U.S. history. I go to North Carolina State and I get a teaching certificate from North Carolina State so I could be a teacher. And it turns out, you're not going to believe this. Well, maybe you will. This is in 2002, 3. No. Yeah, 2002, 2003. Turns out I was the wrong color and gender. They meant if you're not a white man, then they want to welcome you back to Vermont. So I got so mad. I was so mad that I was like, I'm never going to be a teacher. I will never teach in Vermont. Ever. Turns out I always wanted to be a teacher. It's my calling to be a teacher. I am a teacher now. I just teach in corporations. So but once I find out that I'm not eligible to teach in Vermont, so I decide that I need to get focused on business then. And so I go back to school while working full time, and I get a second bachelor's degree in business administration. While I'm there, while I'm working for this management company, I love it so much. I love business so much. I love management so much that I decide to, right after I graduate from college, my third time now, my second bachelor's degree, to start a master's program. And it proves too much for me. I'm not able to do it because my work, I get promoted. I'm moving up the ladder. I go from a assistant manager to a district training manager to a regional director. I'm moving up I'm doing really, really well in this organization. And it's taken a lot of my time. And so I have to put my studies aside. But then I eventually get back to it. And I go, and again, nights and weekends, I get a master's degree in organizational leadership, which is where I am now. It's what I work in, is organizational leadership, quality assurance. I started small. I was running between telephone poles trying to get healthy when I started losing weight, started doing Weight Watchers. I eventually run a Spartan race, and then 2 Spartan races, and then 3 Spartan races, and then a rugged maniac race, which, these are all obstacle course races. And then in 1 year, I even I do a trifecta. That's where you run these 3 different Spartan race levels. I run all 3 in 1 year. And it's like, it's a big deal. And you give you this special medal for all that's a trifecta. The next year I do a double trifecta. That means I run all 3 levels of the races twice in 1 calendar year. So my buddy says, we should run a half marathon. I'm like, absolutely. We start training, we run a half marathon. And then right the day after we run our first half marathon, my buddy Eric and I, we sign up for our first full marathon. And I am off to the races. At this point, I have run thousands of miles. Thousands. I've run 92 full marathons. I don't even know how many half marathons I've run. Easily over 100. Easily over 100. I don't even the only medals I even have up, or I have a rack with all my marathon medals, because I had to take down all my half marathon medals because I didn't have room for them. That's how many marathon medals I have. I'm not bragging. I'm making a finer point here. I've written and published 9 books. 9. I've run 6 Ironmans. I've done 3 independent, That's not without any other kind of race. Century rides, 100-mile bicycle rides. I've done 3 of them outside of the Ironman. The Ironman's 100 miles like too, right? But outside of the Ironman. Published 9 books. I started my own company in 2017. It's my 8th year in business. In January, I'm going to start my 9th year in business. See, if you were to look on a piece of paper with all these accomplishments, and you said, this guy started out a high school dropout, got his GED at the age of 24. By the way, I was 24 30 years ago, which is when I'm starting my clock here. Got a GED from Vermont Basic Education. By the way, love them. If you ever need help with any type of education, go to the Vermont Basic Education in Barrie, Vermont. They saved my life. They truly did. I get a GED when I'm 24 years old. I go to night school, work in construction. I hated it. Work construction, going to night school, nights and weekends, getting my associate's degree, dreaming of being a writer one day. Join the Marine Corps. Spend 8 years with the Marine Corps. In that time, I get a bachelor's degree. Then I get a second bachelor's degree. Then I come out. I start working with this company. I start growing with this company. Getting promoted. Spend 13 years with this company. Love this company. Still love this company. Start my own company 8 years ago. I've run 92 marathons, over 100 half marathons, 6 Ironmans. I've published 9 books. And my belief is that I'm lazy, that I'm undisciplined, that I have no self-control, that hopefully you see the silliness of this, the dichotomy. On one hand, I can see that I'm a performer. I put my head down and I read what I need to read. I teach what I need to teach. I don't miss meetings. I get up in the morning every day. I exercise. I'm training for a half marathon in January. I got another marathon coming up in May. I'm working. I work out. I'm going to get off this call, this live, and I'm going to work out before I have dinner. And I'm on a 72-hour fast. Just think about that. Just try being on a 72-hour fast. It's my 13th week in a row of fasting for 3 days every single week. My 13th week. Yet somehow I have bought into the belief that I'm a lazy SOB, that I have no self-control, that I'm undisciplined. If I wasn't all that, then I wouldn't have a weight problem. So that brings me full circle back to this morning. Watching the news. I'm actually practicing my guitar because I have my lesson tomorrow night. I take guitar lessons. I'm trying to learn how to play guitar a little better. I'm getting there. I love it. So when I wake up, I just grab my guitar and just annoy the heck out of my wife. She's like, would you please? Do you have to do it every single moment? I'm like, well, only when I have a minute. Brian Kilmeade, Fox News comes on. He's talking about what they're going to talk about today. And again, they're talking about Jelly Roll. And they're like, oh, Jelly Roll is going to be, I don't know if they're going to do a segment on Jelly Roll. He's going to be interviewed on, I don't know. But they're like, he looks amazing. He's lost 300 pounds. And then this is where I wanted to scream. Because Brian Kilmeade says, and I think he did it the right way. Now, to be clear, what he meant was, I think Jelly Roll, who weighed 500 pounds, lost the weight from diet and exercise. See, we have gone from fat shaming to now weight loss shaming. See, you're fine. You're good if you lost weight by gritting your teeth and just strong arming it. But If you take medication, if you have your stomach stapled, if you have any help in losing weight, well, that just proves you're a lazy SOB, that you have no discipline. And you know what? You're probably going to gain it all back anyway, because it's all behavior. I mean, don't you know that? It's all behavior. And you're just, it's pathetic. It's quite, honestly, it's pathetic that you would even consider taking a GLP-1. That's the message. And I heard it loud and clear this morning. And if I can do anything, with this show that I'm committed to, coming live every Wednesday, sharing my story, and I hope to have others on to share their story, I am going to work my tail off to normalize GLP-1. Because it is a medication that helps you in a way that where you're deficient. Meaning, I am deficient in these hormones. I need these hormone replacement therapy in order for me to be just like everyone else, where I don't think of food 24/7. That's all it is. It's not making me exercise. It's not making my stomach smaller. It's not taking away, it's not making it so that I'm more disciplined, less disciplined. It is literally helping me be where a lot of you skinny folks who have never had a weight problem and never understood, why can't you just stop eating when you're done? If that is you, okay, I am now you. They have the scientist gods have bestowed upon us a medication that now I see life the way you see life. And it turns out it wasn't, despite my 30 years of belief, because I was lazy and undisciplined. Obviously. How many books have you written? How many marathons have you run? Skinny people who've always been skinny. How many Ironmans have you done? How many courses have you taken? How many degrees do you have that you took nights and weekends? And you're sitting there going, oh, you see that fat piece of shit over there? Pardon my language, but they're just undisciplined. You have no idea what that person's going through. You have no idea how hard they work. Do you know how strong my legs are? I was carrying around 160, 80 pounds, like an 180-pound backpack for a decade. Every single day I was carrying. My legs would kick your legs' ass. I just want to say that I should also say this too. Because, you know, the holidays coming up. Christmas is coming up, and I know I'm going to be dealing with it. I know you're going to be dealing with it. That's why my show is called Unapologetically Keto, because I'm done freaking apology. I'm going to go to Christmas dinner, and they're going to go, oh, you're not eating carbs? Oh, why can't you just try my pie? Oh, you're not going to try my stuffing? Like, no, I'm not. No. And I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to tell you why. I'm not going to. I also don't think it's important for you to admit to anybody that you're taking a GLP-1 if you are indeed taking a GLP-1. I understand. I completely get why you don't want to, because I don't want to. Somebody's like, looks like Ralph's taking a GLP-1. I get embarrassed. I go, the shame. I go, oh my God, they know that I'm a fat, weak, So I understand if you don't want to speak up, if you don't want to say it. I totally get it. I totally agree. But I'm telling you right now, I will no longer do that. Not for me. but for you. I'm not going to apologize because I have a hormone deficiency. I am hormone deficient in this way. I'm not going to apologize for taking medication that makes it so I'm no longer hormone deficient. And if the result of me taking that medication is I live longer and I'm healthier, then what the hell am I apologizing for? I'm literally going to justify or try to explain to somebody how I'm not really lazy? Like, when it's playing a mind game on me. Because while I'm saying to you, I'm done apologizing, I also feel like, I still don't want anybody to know. I mean, I'm live. What the hell? It's so hard to get over the shame of it, though. So hard to get over the shame of it. So, all right. Let me get off that. I just pissed me off so bad this morning when he said, "Oh, and he did it the right way." I mean, it's literally as if you have two people who get into a car accident and they each break their leg. And one person goes to the hospital and has surgery, and the other one just sets it himself. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, your leg is a little better because you went to the hospital. You had a professional do it for you. You lazy ass. This guy's the real hero. I mean, he set his own leg on the side of the road. What the hell are we talking? That is so ridiculous. Damn it. Did it the right way. Kiss my ass. Sorry. All right. Just one more time. I'm going to pull up this little link here just so you see it. Talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it every week, and it happens in January. The end of January is her next 21-day class, Metabolic Kick with Dr. Boz. Click this little QR code. I don't think there's a discount, and God knows there's so many people. You should do it quickly because there's so many people going to this class. Like she only takes 200, so it'll be sold out very soon. But let me tell you what happened to me over the last 12 weeks. Let me say two things. And by the way, I also want to say that I have been getting an awful lot of messages that have been making me smile all day. So for everybody who's sending me a quick message, even those of you sending me on the slide and the little DMs and stuff, saying that, you're so happy I'm doing this and that you two are on keto or on carnivore. And so thank you. I love it. I love hearing about it. I love everybody who is embracing keto and carnivore. And I also want to say, I want to invite you to consider, and I don't know what kind of results you're getting, of course. But I do know what kind of results I am getting, and they are vastly different from pre-working with Dr. Boz to post-working with Dr. Boz. When I was trying to do keto on my own, I didn't quite understand it. I bought the hype. The hype is you just eat meat, you eat as much protein as possible, and any time of day, when you're hungry, just have a steak, just have a burger, BBE, right? Bacon, BBBE, is it bacon, butter, beef, and eggs, right? Like I even did that. I'm only going to eat BBBE, And two things happened to me. Number one, I was never in a state of ketosis. And number two, which means, by the way, if you're not in a state of ketosis, just so you know, you're not on a ketogenic diet. You can say you're keto all day. I don't care. I'm keto. Prove it. Get one of these. You know what? I even have, let me pull this up. Hold on, a little iPad. Okay. So this is by the way, look at this graph. This is the blue line at the bottom is my ketones. The brown line at the top is my glucose. And as you can see, my ketones have been above 1 1 and above is a nutritional state of ketosis. That means that your body is using fat as a burning fuel. Come on, that's a win. Okay. This is Dr. Boz's website. So it is bozmd.com, and she has her favorites. Go to Dr. Boz favorites. That's what I want to show you. And, well, let me show you two things, actually, while I'm here. She has this little thing here. Where is it? Hold on. This is fun for me. It's not fun for you or anybody else, but it is fun for me because Dr. Boz is my absolute hero. She has a book club. And guess whose book is on Dr. Boz's book club? Hey now. I mean, come on. I feel like I made it. Dr. Boz put me on her book club. Okay. This is what I want to show you. Right. Where is it? Oh, right here. Look at this. You get 10% off even. All right. We'll accept the cookies. This is going to change your life. If you're interested in being on a ketogenic diet, you need to be in a state of ketosis. And the only way you can tell if you are in a state of ketosis is with one of these little meters. They're cheap. It's $50. It's $50. Well, the starter kit's $50. You got to buy these little ketone strips and everything. $99, I think you get both the ketones. Let's see what this is. I think you get a little bundle pack. So you get a little starter guide. You get a box of ketone strips, ketones and glucose strips that look like this. And you get the little meter. You get the little pin chaser so you can prick your finger. These solutions are just a way to make it make sure it's calibrated. But you need this. Don't use the P strips. The P strips are not accurate. You need to take your blood every morning. Glucose, ketones. If you're not in a state of ketosis, you are not following a ketogenic diet. What I was mostly saying, though, is that pre-Dr. Boz, I thought I knew what I was doing, and I didn't. It wasn't until I started working with Dr. Boz. And by the way, I started the GLP-1 when I started working with Dr. Boz. So it's a combination for me. Like there is no, well, how did you do just on GLP-1? I don't know. I did GLP-1 while I was in a ketogenic diet. And the reason I'm on a ketogenic diet is because it makes sense to me as the most healthy diet. It just makes sense to me. I've been listening and reading and watching what Dr. Boz has to say about it, and it just simply makes sense to me. I understand it. I think ketogenic diet is the diet human beings are supposed to be on. Totally in. And I also recognize that I am deficient in a couple of hormones, hence the GLP-1. Zepbound for me, by the way, because it has 2 hormones. The 2 hormones is better than the 1 hormone. And I think they're coming out with a third or a new GLP-1 that has 3 hormones. And as soon as they do, I'm taking that. More hormones, the better. That's what I say. So Dr. Boz is having this class. It's the 21 days. You've got 21 days. And it's probably like $1,900. And you can get $1,900. Not to put you in the poorhouse, but this is what you get yourself for Christmas. This is what you get yourself for Christmas. If you buy this and you attend Dr. Boz's class and you do everything she says and you follow this ketogenic lifestyle, this Christmas present you buy for yourself will be the Christmas present that lasts more Christmases. You're going to see more Christmases, more of them, by following this. By giving yourself this for Christmas, you get more Christmases. And I don't know how many Christmases you have. I'm 54. The oldest man in my family lived to 64. That means if I'm on the same track as them, my dad died at 62. So, all right. But my grandfather, my dad's dad, 64. Okay, all right. That means I have 10 more Christmases. That's it. That's all I get. I get 10 more Christmases. I'm telling you, I would have only had 10 more Christmases. I probably would have only had 8 more. I'd probably more likely following in my dad's footsteps than my grandfather's had I not found Dr. Boz. Had I not found Dr. Boz, I probably would only have 8 more Christmases if I'm lucky. But right now, I am confident I bet I have 20 more Christmases. I bet I have 20. I might even have 25 more Christmases. All because I bought myself a Christmas present called the 21-Day Metabolic Kick with Dr. Boz. It is worth it. I have some numbers for you. So after the 3-week class, just so you know, I don't know if she does this every time, but she did it last time. They did offer a 12-week class to follow up with the 21 days. And only those who were successful on the 21-day class did they ask to be part of the 12-week class. And they didn't take a lot of people, so you really got to be successful. But this next level of class was called the metabolic meaningful metabolism, where they take another 12 weeks. And Dr. Boz is asking you, if you're going to do the 12 weeks, try doing the 72-hour fast at a minimum of 48-hour fast every week. I did the 72-hour fast with a few of my friends who I met on there. And we just decided last week we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. So this is all of our 13th week of doing a 72-hour fast. Dr. Boz says there's really good evidence that if you fast for 72 hours a week, every week for, it might be 18 months, you can literally have like a brand new pancreas or something. I don't know, something. I don't know. I'm in. I mean, I want a brand new me. I want 25 more Christmases. And again, I'm willing to do anything, including fasting for 72 hours every week. Over the last 12 weeks, my average glucose has been 92.3. That's huge for me because my average glucose has always been well over 100, more like 120, 130, 140. My average ketone level has been 2.2. Prior to Dr. Boz and taking her 21-day course, I never got into a nutritional state of ketosis, meaning I never got over a 0.1. I mean a 1.0. I never got over a 1.0. My average over the last 12 weeks has been 2.2. It's crazy. I have been taking Zepbound every week, and I got to take it today, by the way. I'm just reminding myself. And I take 2.5 milliliters or milligrams. I also started eating one meal a day, completely accidental. That's the other thing too. When you start studying keto and you start working with Dr. Boz, she'll smarten you up real quick, because I was under the belief that keto was protein. Just got to make sure you get enough protein. Nope. Keto is fat, my friend. It's not protein. You need very little protein. Depending on, if you're a high energy athlete, and, tell me one fat person that's a high energy athlete. Not many of us. You probably, protein's important, but it's not nearly as important as fat. And so I start every meal with fat. I'll take a tablespoon of butter. I'll take a tablespoon of MCT oil, olive oil, whatever. Just starting with fat. Priming my system with a little fat. And then I eat my meal is about 70-75% fat and 20-25% protein. That's it. I don't generally have carbs. I do like a couple of vegetables. I do like coleslaw, so cabbage, I like the little oil and vinegar cabbage. I like that the best, but whatever. Not really the mayonnaise-y one, but I'll eat one meal and simply not be hungry for the rest of the day. That's just it. I'm not only eating one meal because I'm trying to be a hardcore. I'm just not hungry. And what you find out is when you start following the ketogenic diet and you start eating properly, fat first, fat forward, fat heavy, protein light, 0 carb or under 20 grams of carbs, you, my friend, will just simply not be hungry. And then you add in the Zepbound on top of it, and you're like, gosh, this is so nice. It's so amazing to, for once, not be obsessing about food. This morning, I haven't officially weighed in. I officially weigh in on Saturdays, but I do weigh myself every day. But this morning, I weighed 204 pounds. I don't remember ever weighing 204 pounds. Ever. When I got out of boot camp in the Marine Corps, I was at 187. I was ripped too. By the way, I gained it all back like the week between boot camp. You get 1 week off from boot camp to School of Infantry. And in that week, I think I gained it all back. Cookies! I'd gone 3 months without a cookie. So stupid. Anyway, tomorrow morning, I am getting my blood test done. And it'll be the first time that I've gotten my blood. So I did my blood test. I got a full panel on September, maybe it was like September 20th. It was like maybe 2 weeks into the Dr. Boz class. So like 2 weeks into the Dr. Boz class, I finally was able to get my labs taken. And so now this is 3 months later that I'm going to be taking my blood test tomorrow. And I'll have the results back before next Wednesday. And I cannot wait to see them. And I will share with you everything that I find. I cannot wait. I am so hopeful that, that all my numbers are improved. If they aren't, we're going to look at them together. I'm not hiding anything. Once again, right before I get out of here, just remember, if you are interested in my story and my journey, this is part 1. I am working on book number 2 for Adventures in Dietland. I have a part 2 coming out called Going Keto, where I start talking about this whole journey that I've been having. But Adventures in Dietland, how to win at the game of dieting from a former fat guy. I still stand by this book. I still love this book. It's such a fun, honest reflection of my journey. And if you are interested, go to ralphpeterson.com. That's where you can get it if you're interested in the signed copy. If you otherwise, you can just get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's also as an Audible book if you want to listen to it. I do read the book. So that's it. Go to Dr. Boz. Go check her out. Go to her favorite things. If you're serious about keto, you do need a Keto Mojo. One of these things. You do need one of these. Sign up for the course. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you next week.